Hey folks, I've got a Ryobi and a Hart from Walmart brand weed eater. They both have the identical head. It's a head that's got a lock symbol on it. I'll show you a close-up here in a second. I've had multiple viewers send me comments about how difficult theirs is to open, to twist these apart. And I've got one that also is nearly impossible to take off. So I'm going to show you a trick on how to get it off, and then I'm going to show you a modification you can do so that in the future you can turn it by hand easily. Let's get to it. Okay, first thing before doing any of these repairs, take the battery out of your weed eater just so nothing crazy happens. Next thing you're gonna need is a flathead screwdriver like I've got here. I call this about a medium length, medium size one, but you can experiment here. And you see how there's these grooves here on the top of the weed eater head. There's 4 of them. I'm looking for the one where the lock symbols are. And I'm going to be putting the screwdriver in the outer groove. So you can see my screwdriver in the outer groove. Now, flipping this upside down, and as you've got this oriented like I've got it, with the screwdriver in the outer groove, I'm going to turn this counterclockwise as I'm looking at it until the screwdriver hits the body of the head of the weed eater. Now with my feet kind of holding the screwdriver in place, I can now twist with both hands the top part, and the screwdriver is preventing the bottom piece from spinning, and then I can open it up. I've got the head off, as you can see. You're gonna next need the same flathead screwdriver from before, and ideally a metal file of some sort. Emery board, nail file might work, sandpaper might work, but something like this will be easier and more effective. Now, I've already modified this one, so instead what I'm gonna do is take apart my Ryobi, which has never been difficult to open. So I can do that by hand, but that way the inside is pure and I can show you exactly what you need to do. Where the lock symbols are on both sides is where the problem occurs. And you can see this little tab here where I'm pointing. There's a tab in this outer section coming down like a V, and there's a groove here, and there's also a groove right here. There's 2 grooves, that one and that one. One of them is going to be blocked at the moment, one of them is going to be free. And if I spin this 180 degrees, one of them is in the groove, one of them not, and the other one is free. So now with your flathead screwdriver, adjacent to where the notch, the groove is filled, just put your screwdriver in there, and you're just going to bend it down, which will push this outer ring out of the way, exposing this groove. So now we've got 2 grooves exposed, and we're going to do this modification on one side, and then we're going to do it on the other side. Now I'm back to the first weed eater that I've already modified, because the other one opens fine. I don't need to do that modification there. I will show you what I did. So with the screwdriver bending that open, I took this metal file here and I lightly scraped where the groove is back and forth to make the edges of it rounder. And if you can see in there closely, here's the old groove, and I sanded away this part right here. I just took the file and did that. And you got to be gentle because this is plastic and this is metal, so it'll cut it real easily. And then I did the same thing on this groove. I went back and forth there, and then I pulled the outer ring shut. I went to the other side, put the screwdriver in, propped it down. You can probably see there that there's already grind marks there. Don't overdo it. What you want to do is take a little bit off. And I just took off a little bit more there. You can see here where this line is. That's where this rough area here is where I scratched it, or where I blended it here. And that part down there hasn't been touched yet. So basically it's just right around the groove. Snap that back in and take a little bit off at a time, and then try it. Take your, wrong head. Take your head, line up the arrows. You'll want the spring, but you don't have to use the spring every time when you're just testing it. Put it in, and now look how easily that turns. You don't want to make it so that it's so easy to turn that it won't stay locked, and the spring will help it stay tighter. So you just take a little bit out at a time until you can do that by hand. Then you can put the spring in, and it's a little bit harder. Hopefully that was helpful. If it was, I appreciate a like and a subscribe. Thanks for watching and good luck.